Mark Carney is asked about his views on Western separation as an Alberta boy, as he likes to paint himself. So let's hear from him. He's shoving us out the door while pretending to be the guy pulling us back into the country. Oh, it's David Cochrane.
In Alberta, there's a possibility of a referendum next year. I mean, how do you approach it?
This is the greatest country in the world, and this is a country that works. It's a government that's committed to working with Canadians across the country. And I'll maybe I know you're pressed for time now. You're pressed for time. None of us are both pressed for time. I got things to do. We got projects to build. But I was born just north of the oil sands. I grew up just south of the oil sands. When I was born, the oil sands was a concept. And it was the ingenuity of many Albertan engineers and entrepreneurs, and the partnership between the federal government and the provincial government that made the oil sands what they are. This is what we need today. We need all of the actors, private sector, we need research, we need scientists, we need federal and provincial governments working together. And what's going to happen, and I do feel that this spirit is building, is that we're going to see the projects we're talking about aren't just contained within one province. So it needs multiple provinces, it needs Indigenous partners. And the only way to get it, in my view, is to recognize what a moment that we are in, the need for ambition, the need to work together. And I tell you, David, you saw some of this, I'm sure, in your coverage. I traveled across this great country over the course of the last several months. That's what Canadians want. We're going to go to the wall to get it.
What a BS artist. The federal government very damn near killed the oil sands. It was, in fact, the Alberta government, but which by and large gave the oil sands a royalty holiday until they figured out how to get it out of the ground in a way that was financially viable, that made it happen. This is the feds taking credit for things that happened in Alberta again. We can't get our oil to market thanks to them, which means we cannot develop our oil and gas sector as quickly and as robustly as we would like. We can't get approvals on major projects, or they overreach into provincial jurisdiction to say that, oh, no, we have the final say on your major projects. The gall of this guy to claim, oh, I was born in Alberta, so all of a sudden I'm pro oil and gas, that doesn't fly. We only have to look at Rachel Notley as an example of that.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Saskatchewan's coal sector. So they damn near killed Saskatchewan's coal sector, told us that they were phasing, and this is responsible for the economic prosperity of a great many thousands of people in Saskatchewan Southeast by saying they were phasing it out by, I think, 2035. And the government of Saskatchewan had to come in and overrule them and just say, no, we're just gonna mine coal until there is no coal to mine anymore. Nice. But when he talks about ambition and he talks about the need for having to work together, what he's doing is signaling to especially the Western provinces that he's got a plan, that he's going to come in and he's going to fix. Well, it was because of his party that we are in this position to begin with.
Right.
And so without acknowledging that it was because of their bad policy that we find ourselves in this really precarious position where all of our natural resources are landlocked and locked up in regulations that the federal government forces upon us. The actors that he says we need for everybody to get involved, the private sector and the public sector. The private sector is not going to get involved unless they have assurances that the federal government isn't going to come in and steal the bag at the very end, just like they want to do. So I don't believe a word that this guy says. I just don't.
Look at the Trans Mountain debacle.
Mm-hmm.
Why would a private sector company want to build a multi-billion-dollar pipeline in this country while you have a climate radical from the World Economic Forum who wrote a book called Values in charge of the country? And to add insult to injury, shoehorns that idiot stick Stephen Guilbeault back into cabinet, which is an agitation for Alberta. Our premier hates him like the Pope hates the devil. And yet instead of trying to heal the relationship, puts him back into cabinet, and he can't stay in his lane. He won't shut up about climate change, even though he's the heritage minister. He's like, yeah, you're not getting any pipelines. You're the heritage minister. Get lost. Shut up. But he can't shut up about it until such time as someone asks him a hard question about it. Then he's like, oh, it's not my portfolio. How dare you? Which is basically what he did yesterday. So maybe he got in trouble. Maybe he didn't like the answer he was going to give, but he was asked about how much more conventional energy, i.e. oil and gas. So when they say energy superpower, what they mean is solar panels and wind turbines.
Yes.
They don't mean oil and gas. Just always remember that. They want unreliable green energy that causes rolling brownouts in the hot and the cold, so Canada all the time. That's what they mean when they say energy superpower. Don't let them play that game. So someone asked him, how much more conventional energy should Canada produce? Because Alberta's premier says we're doubling production and try and stop us. So let's hear what he had to say. All of a sudden, not so talkative.
Speaking of climate change, there were two mentions of climate change and commitments to continue moving forward on nature protection. As you will recall, during the election campaign, we committed to create 10 new national parks, 10 new marine conservation area, 15 new urban parks, and accelerate our achievement of our goals to protect 30% of our lands and waters by 2030.
How much more conventional energy does Canada need? That was in the third speech. How conventional energy? How much more conventional energy does Canada need?
I'm not the energy minister. I'm not responsible.
Oh, he's not the energy minister.
For nature.
He's not the energy minister all of a sudden. Like 2 weeks ago or 10 days ago, he said, actually, you guys don't need any pipelines. The ones you have aren't at capacity. Really? The industry says otherwise. Now he's like, don't ask me those questions. I'm not the energy minister, after giving a 90-second answer on climate change.
I think somebody hauled him into line, Sheila Gunn Reid, because Stephen Guilbeault of years gone by would not have missed an opportunity like that to pop off on his green craziness in public. So I think that he probably got hauled into line. But something he said there should cause Canadians to pause just a little bit, put our thinking caps up, and wonder why he's saying this. So he said that they're going to concentrate on developing a bunch of new parks in Canada. And what I hear when he says that is the federal government is going to continue land grabbing from the people of Canada. So when the federal government gets involved in developing or in other ways taking land from inside a province and making it federal jurisdiction, well, we should all wonder why they are doing that, and we should all take a good hard look at the areas that they're developing, because they are going to take plum property from Canadians and make it theirs to their own ends. And I wonder why they are doing this now.
Well, I know. It's because these land grabs are a way to block oil and gas production. So do you remember the Great Bear Rainforest off the northern coast of BC? You couldn't build Trans Mountain through there because, not Trans Mountain, I'm sorry, Northern Gateway through there because it was the Great Bear, Spirit Bear. It's just a
national park.
Yeah, it's just a white black bear. But anyway, you couldn't because it was this protected rainforest. So that's what they do. And there's a group called, and I haven't talked about them in a long time because they sort of have been getting everything they want from the federal government anyway. So they didn't actually have to engage in a lot of activism. They were just in a whisper campaign into the ears of the likes of Stephen Guilbeault. But it's called Yellowstone to Yukon, like Y to Y. And it's their goal to make that entire tract of land protected to prevent oil and gas development on the eastern slopes of the Rockies, which is where Alberta does a lot of conventional oil and gas, and also to stop coal mining there, even if it's thermal coal or coal bound for export, that we would be offloading our emissions to China, I guess, at the end of the day. But that's their goal, is to turn that and use animals like the grizzly bear, animals like the black bear, stupid protected flowers, all that kind of stuff. So when he says we're going to start turning things into parks, I'm like, that's what you're doing now.
That's exactly what they're doing.
That's what you're up to.
Let's face it, Canada's economy isn't heading in the right direction. Inflation's eating away your savings, and government debt is out of control. No politician is going to fix that overnight. With Guildhall Wealth, you can hold real, physical gold and silver inside your RRSP. It's a time-tested way to protect your retirement and take back control of your wealth. Call 1-877-8-SILVER or visit guildhallwealth.com/rebel to request your free investor kit. And hey, make sure to mention Rebel News.